everybody, welcome back to the channel. Alright, so I just did like a few reactions, and I was just gonna record this quick little video. Now, as you can see by the title, what's going on with Snowpiercer, the final season. Only reason I'm making this video is because I got like 1 or 2 comments, maybe like 3, saying like asking about what's going on. And basically, let me go through the timeline. Now, even before season 4 dropped, like when I responded, "Oh, you gonna do season 4?" Of course. Around that time, I stopped. Like I just did less and less edited reactions on the channel. Patreon description down below for, you know, uncut reactions. But basically, now if in the future I get like I'm able to get an editor, then we gonna start getting them back on the channels. Before start getting those back on the channel. But before that even happened, my idea going forward, because you know I'm not about to sit here and be like, let's say there's a show and it's like 50 episodes. If like the first like couple episodes of the series is not cracking up, like Game of Thrones, that bitch surprisingly instantly out the gate was just like, yeah, we going with it. I was like, okay, shit, okay. But other shows, sometimes they pick up later on. It did that with Snowpiercer, Lost in Space. Like, it wasn't instantly like, oh, hey, let me go see this real quick. So my idea was like, okay, record it on Patreon. Uncut. Now, let's say I like it. I'll continue it. And then I'll edit the first couple episodes on the channel. And then, excuse me. And if people want to see it more on the channel, then, you know, I'll just prioritize those certain videos. But then it just got into much with the, you know, main channel, gaming channel. And I was like, okay, I'm going to just strictly Patreon. Now, even if you go on the Patreon, you'll see season 4 here. Now, here's where the big thing lies. If you go on the Patreon, you'll see a series. You gotta go a couple like months back in the videos. I guess you could go back in the collections, and it will be easier to see it that way. But there's a certain series. I don't want to name it on the channel until I actually get that first video posted. But there's a show. I'm rewatching it on the Patreon, but I already watched it before. And this is how I knew it got messed up. And this is gonna tie in with Snowpiercer. But basically, it was a show that was recommended to me, and I was like, okay, let me go see what this is about. This is before my channel. Oh, hey, I think you'd like this show. Okay, let me see what this is about. And basically, I'll just put it to you like this: there's 7 seasons. The first 3 seasons, or the first 4 seasons, I always forget which one it is. There's one season where, like, for the most part of it, I mean, there's some things that's kind of reaching, but the main storylines, for the most part of it, there's one season towards one of the middle seasons that was real good. I think it was 4 or 5. It wasn't 3, it was 4 or 5. It's one of those 2. Good season. The first 3 seasons, or 4 seasons, whatever it may be, had good story and concept, but terrible character decisions. Matter of fact, that series, this Snowpiercer, and I did a video talking about, so I started watching Fear the Walking Dead again, it's kind of in the same vein. It's like, end of the world, we have to make survival decisions, right? So basically, the first 3 seasons of that show that you'll see on the Patreon, and eventually when I make a video, the first 3 seasons of that is good designs, good concepts and story, terrible character decisions. Then I have one good season where, you know, some characters are still acting this way, but you know, they sometimes make the hard decisions. And then there's like the main story is like, okay, cool. And then we get now more characters are finally making better decisions. But it's just like, where's the story coming from? What is this random thing that we're doing right now? So keep that in mind. Let's say, okay, I just reacted to Invincible. Let's just say that's not the show, but let's just say it's Invincible. Just so we can differentiate it from Snowpiercer, but like see how it loops back around. Actually, well, I'll just say that show. So basically, I'm watching Snowpiercer. First 2 episodes, I'm like, cool. I think I did three to four, 4 or 5 episodes. The first 2 episodes, cool. I'm trying to see more of what's going on. Okay, well, yeah, this is an interesting story. Okay, what's going on? Now, the end of one episode, like, I don't want to spoil it, but let's just say, okay, you could look at the blacklist. Let's just say something with Leighton and a character in the blacklist, something happens, and then something else happens between, like, something happens with between those 2 characters, and then if you watch the show, you know what I'm talking about. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about just yet, I don't. I'm trying to think of a way to say this. Let's just say I'm overcritical when it comes to. Usually it's post-apocalyptic stories, maybe some war story, whatever it may be, where it's like, hey, here's the decision that should be made. So basically, those Leighton and the character in the blacklist, what happens with them and what happens because of that. Now they have to make a decision. Leighton, even though, like, I understand that sucks, I can, okay, okay, I'll let it slide a little bit. But the fact that it was like, hey, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think there's a way I can do this without spoiling. So I'll come back to this. And then I'll say what that story is in a second. So then after that little scenario happened, I said, okay, the reason I talked about that show is because basically I have this notebook and I'll react to it, and then I'll write down like the timestamp of my recording of me saying something, as well as the timestamp on the show, so I know, okay, this is what I need to say when I'm making this video. So a few times I'll say something good in this other show that I'm talking about, and then usually I'm like criticizing something, whether it's something nitpicking or something very, very like big, like what are we doing right now. I knew it was bad when there was multiple times where I'm about to grab this, my bad, I just hit the mic, where I'm about to grab this notebook while watching Snowpiercer. Now, also, keep in mind, another thing that it wasn't a big deal at first, but it becomes a big deal later on. One of the biggest, like, there's companies I don't mess with, and there's companies I have to see what they're bringing before I mess with them. Disney, y'all had multiple years. I got to see what you're coming with before I mess with you. Oh, Thunderbolts, that looks kind of cool. Captain America Brave New World, like when it comes to Disney Plus or like something, I'll check it out. Like, I was maybe gonna watch it in theaters, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to watch it in theaters. One that I'm like, I don't mess with, and I'm gonna try take every single shortcut to make sure you don't get a single penny. I don't care if your subscription is 1 cent a year. I don't want you to have that penny off me. One of them, and one of the only ones, is AMC. Not AMC the theaters, AMC the the network that provided us Breaking Bad, The Walking Dead, and all the 20 of their spin-offs. Okay, you don't have to have that crazy much of budget to do the continue Breaking Bad and do Better Call Saul. I'll let y'all have that one. That's your dub. But they they could have been super. They could The Walking Dead could have been bigger, and then AMC always was trying to shortcut them, whether on their original show or any types of spinoff, or just a creation of that many spinoffs. And I'm not someone who even fights against that. So that was a little thing, but basically, I got all these shows coming. Like, basically, I just recorded some Invincible. I'm watching through Dragon Ball Z. I just finished Dexter Original Sin. What's the other show? Daredevil Born Again is dropping. See, that's another one with Disney. That's my guy Daredevil, man. That's my guy. So basically I was like, okay, I'm gonna pause this for now. Snowpiercer. I'm gonna pause this for now, and then when I get some of these out of the way, bro, it's been a minute. I haven't finished the X-Men films. Like, there's probably a whole bunch of references in Daredevil and Deadpool and Wolverine that like just went over my head because I haven't seen X-Men films. I seen before reacting to it on the channel. I vaguely remember some parts from the first one. I don't remember the second one, and then I remember more parts from Last Stand, and that's it. So I was like, okay, after I finish this, I'm gonna come back. And then I don't remember which one. Oh, I was reacting to another AMC show. I think it was Preacher. I think it was Preacher. Preacher is the AMC show, but I think Preacher was the show I was reacting to, and I was like, I'm not really like with Preacher. Those are also on the Patreon. With Preacher, it was like this. The main stories that I wanted, Snowpiercer kind of suffers from this if you've seen my main characters tier list as well. But Leighton, you're not a character I dislike, but you're one of the characters that I'm supposed to be rooting for that I care the least about, besides people that I dislike. Same thing with Preacher. Jesse, I don't really care what you got going on. I want to see what's going on there. But the difference is with Snowpiercer, we actually get to see everyone. So I'm like, okay, cool. Alright, nice. Preacher, they're like, okay, we'll give you a little taste. And when it seems like Jesse's about to get into those storylines, no, go to that. I'm like, okay, I don't care. So then I went back to AMC to see if I could watch Snowpiercer. And then basically, you can only watch it because I didn't get AMC Plus. I was able to watch through the like I think it's TV Anywhere, and some networks you're able to like it'll click with your with your cable, and you're able to watch certain shows online. So I guess you're only able to do that as it's premiering. So after the season like finished and I came back, it was too late, and now I actually have to get AMC Plus. Listen, I'm gonna be honest. Like, even after I get all that stuff out, and there's like thousands upon thousands of people that says, hey, go check it out, and they'll slide me money. I don't care how much money you slide me. I'm not giving it, and you better slide me an account. It's simple. Because I'm not giving AMC a single cent. So now, going back to that, I'm trying to think, is there anything else before I go into the spoilers? Let's see. So I was going to put it on the back burner. Okay, and then I went back, and then I was forced to get AMC Plus this time. Let me check if it's on Amazon now. Or let me go back to AMC for a second. let me see if I'm able to still watch it. Okay, it got my shows. Is there a search button? Where's the search thing? Like, even your UI is trash, brother. A through Z. So it's not even showing up right here. Am I tripping? Maybe it's only showing up. That's hilarious. Okay, I'm gonna try Amazon. But, okay. So I was gonna come back to it. It was only through AMC Plus. I'm not giving them a single cent. Okay, boom. They don't even display season 4. But I think that, alright, I think that's it in terms of that, besides the spoilers. Now, so those are the external reasons. Now we're gonna get into the reasons within the show that got me to pause that for a little bit. Oh, last thing before the spoilers. Even if I were to have more time, okay, it's like Snowpiercer, that was like kind of a late bloomer. But like different shows that got me to be like, let me stop doing this, is I'm losing less and less sleep to try to edit a video that's not even really gonna do well, so what's the point? Like, I'm getting more in terms of streaming and Patreon than I am of trying to edit a reaction. Okay, so now spoilers. So basically what it was is this. So if you are curious and you haven't seen Snowpiercer season 4, all right, you know, but beyond this point is gonna get into spoilers. So basically, spoiler alert, here we go. So first, you know, Zarah dies, and she in a blacklist. I was trying to basically, when I was trying to say it in a non-spoiler way, is basically the first thing that happened was that she died. That was, I mean, that's not a negative towards me. She's in a blacklist. But I was trying to, like, convey that, hey, they're child together. So the child gets kidnapped. I don't even remember why the child was kidnapped. I'm gonna be honest. I think it was to get Leighton, like it was a trap to get Leighton there. Okay, the child's kidnapped. Now listen. One thing I was excited before is to see the community. Where the main focus is about to leave the community. Not that much of a big deal. Okay. That sucks, but what do you know? What can you do? Now, what I said is, okay, I'll give you a pass. Leighton is, they're still having struggles with this community. They only have a certain radius that they can leave, and even within that radius, they need the engine to still survive. Now they're able to get backup generators that last them a few weeks. Okay. Now, and that's still a sketchy situation. Now let's say it's a most definitely. It's not even a most definitely that the generators are gonna work for a couple weeks. We can probably get them to work for a couple weeks. So we got those multiple negatives working. Okay. So we did all this to try to do this on our own life on the surface. Just for Leighton to be like, all that you fought for and the people who died along the way, you know what? I'm thinking I'm gonna leave that, and then, you know, y'all might not have a chance to survive. Now, it's your daughter, and it's a baby at that. It's not even like it's your daughter and she's like 10, 15 years old, and like it's gonna be a struggle, but like she could probably survive. No, it's a little bit. I mean, granted, like, you got to be a piece of shit to just to let a baby die or kill a baby, like, but still, it's like, it's not something where we're like, this is my kid, but they're more capable to defend themselves. I mean, worst case scenario would be like a 5 or 6 year old, because they're a little more capable than a baby, but like someone will be least more likely to save a baby than a kid, even though you try to save them both. Okay, so we give Leighton that pass. Cool. Like I said, I don't hold back when it comes to these post-apocalyptic decisions. Let me give a scenario from that show that I was talking about. I'm not going to say what it is, but basically, one people from the protagonist group started losing his mind and killed innocent, elderly, I think there are some children. Let's just say elderly, like they weren't fighters like that. And these are people who drastically outnumber our protagonists. They said, hey, hand them over. We're good. Hand them over. Oh, we can't do this. This is a hard decision. How is it? Then they even like this. These are crazy individuals. They said, okay. Like they said, what if we do our own justice? They won't be satisfied if we jailed him. They even gave you the opportunity to give him a painless death, and they're like, we can't do this. To me, that is dumb. That is stupid. Not only is it's not like we'll just kill a random one of your people. Not even that, where it's like, well, that one outweighs the many. This is someone who's actively guilty. Who this is? I mean, they're not an irredeemable person, but they're irredeemable in that certain situation where it's like, you gotta face the action of your consequences. So like in certain scenarios, I'm not gonna be like, you know what? Well, we got it. Like, that's one of the reasons why I wasn't really like, I realized one of the reasons I wasn't fucking with Fear the Walking Dead is because it's like, it's the apocalypse, but we're the good guys. And like, bro, it's the end of the world. What are we talking about? So, I'll give you a pass, Leighton. That's your literal baby. That's your daughter. Okay. So then, we have people obviously trying to stop him. Hey, don't do this. And then people are like, you know what? Go ahead and do it. What? What are you talking about? And so I'm like, bro, there's no, like, and then people are like looking at Ruth like she's the bad person because she's like, this is a bad idea. And also, this is, now who knows, because like every year it's like a secret group comes along. First it was Big Alice. At first it was them, and then it was I don't. It's like every season, like, oh, there's more people. And so, hold up, was season 3? Was that the? Yeah, Asha, her people, where she was underground. I think that was her name. And she looked like a Middle Eastern shawty. I think she had like a scar on her face or something, or birthmark or whatever. I don't know. She was. I think she was. I'm pretty sure she was a season 3 person. And then this season we have the military people. So, but let's just say that's the last new people we're going to see. Let's say you get there and they're working Snowpiercer. They whipping them, you know, not whipping them like literally, but like they're like working them, hey, till the wheels fall off, no pun intended. Let's say you go there and you die. or you go there, you're not able to bring the train back. Let's say you go there, you even save your daughter, but you're not able to get the train back to New Eden. It was already I think there's a secret path, so I'm gonna let it slide, but it was already like a tricky path to get there anyway. Okay. And I don't want to hear it worked out in the end. Maybe it did work out in the end, but like that's just plot armor. I'm like, that's not good story. That's not good writing. Oh, it worked out in the end. Who cares? Y'all complain about. Okay, I don't want to just spoil other shows, but let's just say y'all complain about plot armor, Battle of the Bastards. What about this? Let's say you're successful, Leighton. You get Lyanna. Okay, cool. Alright, you're successful. You're reunited with your daughter. Let's just say you're not able to get the train back there. Congratulations. That part of humanity that's left is dead. Because of you. Now let's say worst case scenario and you stayed. Worst case not worst case scenarios, like they're like the worst of the worst and they just kill Lyanna. But let's just try to look from their perspective. They just take this random baby. Why? Let's say they raise the baby and it's kind of like an Alex situation. Okay, your kid was able to live. And so was the community. And so was Snowpiercer. And so was wherever the military people was. Now, maybe eventually they come through and they just take over your community. That's a better case scenario than your community is just dying because you left. So for me, that just doesn't make any sense. So the whole thing was, I was sitting here, and then it really dawned on me when I grabbed the notebook and I was about to like start writing, in the notebook, and I'm like, I'm not even reacting to that show right now. So I said, okay, I got a lot of stuff going on. I was trying to like get my streams in order. Let me go to my Patreon to see like around the time when I did my last video. I'm gonna have to do some scrolling. Cause keep in mind, like I was reacting to it as the episodes were dropping. I just stopped after a certain episode. All right, let me see. Let's see. Can you scroll? Okay, so I started Gotham. I started Preacher. I was trying to finish the second season of that particular show. I was still watching Dragon Ball Z. And keep in mind, I say Dragon Ball Z. Keep in mind, I wanted to get some of these shows, the Vikings Valhalla. I wanted to get some of these shows out of the way before I start like being able to finally get into some other anime. Okay, so Snowpiercer episode 4. I was finishing the first season of Vikings Valhalla. I was getting into the second season. I was trying to finish the second season of that one particular show. I wanted to start Chaos, which was I shouldn't have even started that one, so I guess that's an L. It was interesting, and by the time it was about to get to the good part, it was like, oh hey, no, it's canceled. Some bullshit. And let's see, Vikings Valhalla. Yep, and then I wanted to get back into Fear the Walking Dead, which that was just some stupidity. I could not continue. And I was gonna make a video like that other show. That other show at least got some movement. If I do a video on Fear the Walking Dead, that's gonna do absolutely zero movement. So I just said, forget that. I just did the last part of that reaction of Fear the Walking Dead, and I just posted that to YouTube, straight like that. Because I was not about to take my time to do that. Now, Snowpiercer, I could do the same thing. That one show, it probably won't have that much motion. It'll have more motion than Fear the Walking Dead, I'm sure though. So maybe that's something I could do, where I can actually make a video talking about the things that was not working with Snowpiercer. But still, so I can eventually come back to Snowpiercer. I just spit on the fucking mic, dude. I can eventually come back to Snowpiercer. But keep in mind, when I'm recording this, and this is probably posted the same week or the week after, when I'm recording this, I still have to finish the X-Men films. I forgot there's like 2 to 3 more shows coming up in the pipeline, but those are weekly, so that's probably, you know, I'm not gonna have to like binge a series. I'm gonna take a pause after, like, in between season 1 and season 2 of Gotham. I still have to come back to that one show that I'm gonna make a video on. I already finished Dexter, so I just gotta have that posted. I'm gonna do Daredevil as they come out. I did the first 4 episodes. I gotta wait for those to post. I'm gonna continue with Dragon Ball Z. Eventually, after I get the X-Men films, there's another Marvel show that I gotta do. And then after I finish that show, I'll start back up Gotham again. And then I gotta start adding animes to the mix. So if by that time I'm able to get access without going through AMC Plus, you're not getting a single cent off of me, then I'll continue it. See, which is unfortunate. I feel like they just had the death touch, bruh. You know how people, like, everything they touch is turn into gold, and then the other people, everything they touch turns into shit. As soon as y'all acquired it, even though they already filmed it, which was just dumb, you filmed it and was like, nah, I'm gonna do my own thing. But as soon as you touched it, just went down the drain. I enjoyed the movie, and I enjoyed the first 3 seasons. It's a damn shame that season 4 started off with some promise, and then they did this. And I even gave it a chance. I reacted to one more episode. I said, all right, if there's nothing that's like gonna be like, or maybe I did that. I think I did that with the Preacher as well. But Preacher was just like, that one, it wasn't going. But this one was like, okay, maybe someone is able to talk some sense in the late end, or other people. But no, you're not going to gaslight me and thinking Ruth is the wrong person. Just like you're not going to do that with me and Strand and Fear the Walking Dead. But yeah, it's going to be it for this one. See, I could have did this one in response of like the reacting to comments videos, but that was going to, first and foremost, that would have been way down the line. And second of all, like, who knows if you would have even seen that particular video. So I'm going to make this as a video, and I'm going to put it in the Snowpiercer playlist. So I'm going to, if I remember, or if someone else watches the whole video and you want to put the timestamp, here's the long story short right here. I stopped doing edited reactions on the channel as much, and then I stopped doing them overall until in the future I get an editor. That's number 1. Number 2, I reacted to it on the Patreon the first couple episodes. Something story wise was like, this is some BS. I'll come back to it in the future. Alright, then the next point, I don't mess with AMC as a company. I speak with my wallet. I'm not these people who complain about Call of Duty but buy every single game. You got to do something to be like, hey, we want your money. So they're one of the few companies that I'm never supporting if there's any way I can. So the reason that's relevant is because with the next point, I was watching them as they going on. There's a way that you can do it, and it'll just go with your cable. They probably get something off of that, but it's better than me giving them money right to them. And basically, after the show stopped airing weekly, and I was watching it weekly, I basically have to watch through AMC Plus, and I'm not giving them a single cent. I don't care if it's 1 cent a year. I don't care if it's 1 cent for 50 years. You're not getting a single cent from me. Okay, that was the next step. And then the next thing was, I had a lot of things. Like at first I was doing videos on a Patreon 5 days a week. To catch up, I'm going to have to do a video every day. So there's a couple things, a couple shows and movies I want to get out the way. And then in the future, if there's a way that I can get access to them without paying anything to AMC, then I'll come back to it. But that's a long story short. So if I remember to put a timestamp there, I'll put a timestamp, just a less in-depth version. But that's gonna be it for this one. Let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. If you liked the video, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, share it with your friends. Stay tuned for the next one, and I'm out. Peace.